When was the last time you looked in the mirror and was like, hey, I look great. I'm feeling great. I am right on where I want to be. And then someone tells you look 5 years older than you actually are. That type of ego death is what we're talking about today on Zaboys to Men as we tackle looking your age older.
You're listening to a Zaboys Media Podcast.
That's right. Welcome to Zaboys to Men. I am Chris. James, you're over there, right?
Yep, and I'm James.
Yeah, and we are not joined by Leo. He is on location in the
California, I think.
Oh, actually, is he actually in California? I
can't
remember.
He said I know he had two trips he had to do, and I can't remember which one came first. The chicken or
There was a road trip he was taking with Papa Leo in the week when we were actually going on Thursday. He was going with Papa Leo somewhere on a road trip, which a road trip with Papa Leo, speaking, because, Zaboys to Men, when it features Leo, me and him go back so far, you'll hear a lot about our boys' time. When we were young lads, and Papa Leo was a big part of that. We took a road trip to Memphis one time, and wow, was that fun. In fact, it kind of goes to what we're talking about in this episode, because we're talking about looking your age or older. And at that point in time, me and Leo kind of looked older than 17. So yeah, we kind of looked like we were in our 20s, and we got to, drink without any question and got hit on by like teachers and whatnot.
Ooh, we were been there.
Weird
Not by
time.
Teachers, but by much older women.
Yeah, much older women were definitely like eyeing me and Leo there. But yeah, so he's out doing that. So it's just me and the brain box, hanging out, getting and chatting about something. And this is why this topic got brought up.
I was about to say, when you proposed this topic, I was like, what? Hold on, what do you mean? So I'm very curious what inspired this.
So at my job, there's people of all different ages and whatnot, but there are some cashiers are like 20 somethings and things like that, and some of the clerks are 20 somethings. And at one point in time, one of the dairy clerks, they were talking, and another person, they were talking about ages and all this stuff, and they asked me to guess how old they were, and I think I said the kid was like 20, maybe 25. And he was like, I'm 22. So we're like, okay, I'm around there. And, I was around the area, and I asked him the same thing. And he said 27. And I was like, I took a deep breath. I was like, oh, thank God. No, I'm 38, but thank you. That is awesome. And like, I felt good.
Yeah.
I felt good about that. And I was like, oh yeah, it's cool. Okay. I don't look like, worn and ragged and whatnot. I look like the black don't crack. Let's go ahead. Yeah, I got it. But so I was feeling myself. Weeks go by, and this is just the other day. This is like the day I bring up the topic in our Zaboys group chat. I'm checking out, and the little cashier girl, I was talking about my purchase and talking about my girlfriend. And she asked me how old I was. And I said I was 38.
Yeah.
And she's about to say something, and she pauses and she goes, no, I'm not gonna ask that. And I'm like, oh, go ahead, ask. Like what? She was like, how do you have so much gray and you're only 38? I thought you were a lot older. And just like she could have just reached over and like just punched me right in the nuts. And that would have felt better than that moment in time, because it just like complete ego death. Like I've never been guessed older.
Yeah.
Ever. In my entire, besides when I'm younger. I've only been guessed older whenever I shouldn't be guessed older. As soon as I became a 20-something, 25, 26, like all that, I was either guessed age or younger.
Yeah, people just knew you were either the age that you were, or like you said, maybe a little bit younger.
Yes. And so this is the first time I felt that sort of just and you know, we're not going to release the video of this because I have a litter box in the back. We haven't got the video completely set up, guys. You know, listening to Zaboys to Men on Acast and Spotify and all that. Thank you for listening, and you know, we appreciate you. We love our Zaboys community. But yeah, this is the first. So like, I have grays in my face. I have a lot of grays, and I've been kind of self-conscious about it. But that moment in time just completely made me go, "Oh no! Do I need to Just for Men now? Is it like, am I there? Am I at Just for Men age? Are those commercials speaking to me? I don't know, Thorny. Where are you in this?
Man.
Where are you in this?
Look, I'll tell you this. The first time it happens, it does hurt. I remember the first time someone accused me of being older. And like you said, and not in the scale of like when you're young, because I remember being like in middle school and one of my teachers was like, "How old are you?" And I was like, I think, man, middle school, I was probably 13, 14, something like that. And I remember being like, I was like, "Oh, I'm 15 or whatever, 14. And they were like, "Oh man, you act so much older than that. Like you're so mature for your age." But like the first time it happens as an adult was I was at work, and like you said, someone was playing the guess how old I am, game, and I was like, yeah, and I looked at her and I was like, "Oh, you're probably 26, 24 maybe," and she was like, "Oh wow, that's really good. Like you got like right on the nail." And I was like, "Okay, cool." And I was like, "How old?" She goes, "How old are you?" And I was like, "Well, let's reverse this game." I was like, "How old do you think I am?" And she looks at me and she goes, 35.
How old were you at the time?
I was 26 at the time. I turned 27. And I looked at her and went, "Do I look 35? And she's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "I'm 26. But then I keep in mind, like I had to think about that. I was like, well, why do I look older? And I was like, because I was drinking heavily at that time.
Okay. Yeah,
I was bloated. It was my first desk job. So I'd put on the freshman 15 and I was like, "Oh Lord." And it felt so bad. But luckily, as time goes on, we can work on those things. Because I remember couple years down the road, another coworker doing it again, like, "Oh, how old are you?" And I'm like, "Well, how old do I look?" And they're like, "You look like you're, probably 29." And I think I was 32 at the time or something. And I was like, "Oh, thank you." I was like, "Oh, I'm feeling pretty good about myself now."
It feels so good. It feels so good whenever they give just even a couple years, years. Like if someone right now said I look 35, I'd be like, yeah, cool. I'll take those 3 years off. And the fact that she didn't give an actual like number, she said I thought you were a lot older. And you're
like a lot older in our minds. It's like, wait, do I look 50 something now? Oh no. Yeah.
Did I look 48? Like instead of 30? Like what happens? And I think physically, this is why this episode isn't titled aging.
Yeah,
because I don't think it's about, because gray hair isn't even really about aging. No, the science behind gray hair is like stress actually causes gray hair more than the aging process. Aging will whiten your hair, like that's just like it happens in animals, happens in everything, but like you're graying a lot of times early. It's genetics. Just pure genetics and stress, so that
and darker hair seems to gray sooner than lighter hair does as well.
Yeah. So
you notice people with like black hair have a tendency to start graying in their 30s, late 30s sometimes, whereas like blondes, and maybe it's just not noticeable with people who have blonde hair because it's so much lighter. Because like my beard has a spot where it gets a lot of gray hairs now. And I like them personally, but most people don't even notice them because my beard area grows in much lighter than the top of my head does.
You're right. And I'm salt and pepper. Yeah. Like I have a salt and pepper goatee area thing, and I wear a hat pretty much 100% of the time at work, so no one can really see I'm balding until I take my hat off.
Oh man, the balding thing is the
I don't think I've really taken it off. Yeah, and so that's okay. So in my vanity aging idea, that's my biggest issue. Is the fact I started balding when I was 29, 30. Well, I started balding mid being in the band, Free Conformity. Go look that up. Cheap plug. But yeah, I started balding. I remember, and this is, again, I'm glad this topic hit me there too, was I cut my hair into a mohawk. Cut it into a mohawk, and at the end of the tour that we were on, and I was trying to clean up the mohawk when I came back, I noticed front part of the mohawk missing, like just a little bit. It was like a little bit of it was gone, and I was like, that's not good. And quickly, I shaved the whole head. I shaved my entire head, and it never came back.
Yeah. That's always the worry when you start shaving your head too, is like, will it come back? I don't know. It
didn't come back. Like as soon as I took that mohawk off, it started the retreat, and it completely went away. And then so I've been bald, like shaving my head bald ever since. And then I let it grow out because laziness, because shaving your head every day sucks. And that's when I feel if I let the sides of my head grow out, and I don't keep myself kind of shaving and whatnot, I could believe I could look 48 then, because I could see that, because hair is a big portion of the way that you look in age.
Oh yeah, no. It's very, 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 very true. And like you said, I'm very much in that similar boat where, like, anytime I go to get a haircut now, I always freak out when they do the, show you the back thing, because I can see if I go too short, I can see the thin spot. And I'm like, and so I don't even end up looking at any of like the back or the sides. I'm just staring at that little spot. I'm like, no. And I've tried things to like thicken it. I'm like, okay, here's this. Like, I won't get on like, what is that, Rogaine or anything like that?
Rogaine, Propecia.
Yeah. Like I won't do that, but I've tried other things. I've tried like scalp massages and like certain tinctures and oils, and mostly I've realized you just got to let the top stay long and push it back to hide it, and hope to God that you're taller than whoever you're hanging out around, because if they can't see it, no one notices it. And man, I've dated women where I'm like, I hate this balding spot. And they're like, oh, I never noticed it. And then you show them, they're like, oh yeah, it is in there. Huh. Keep in mind, though, I will say on the back of the head, cowlick, or not even cowlick, but where your hair kind of starts to grow from, that's a big part of it too, and your part lines and things. Yeah, no, I'm not obsessed with out hair and going bald.
I didn't treat my hair very well when I was younger. I was definitely someone who like did product in his hair to make it straight and stuff like that. So it could be just it's karma, a little bit of hair karma. I should have just stuck with what God gave me. I probably would still have it. One of those type things. But hey, I was having fun. It was in my 20s. Hey, zany hair. I'm a scene kid. You know what I mean?
Looking through your social media, I've seen you have some wild haircuts from before I knew you, and even while we've been working together. And I mean, I did too. There's a photo out there of me at like 16 with the Bee Gees fro, where it's just so long and massive, and it doesn't help that I'm wearing like a white button-up shirt in it and some Trip jeans or some Trip pants, and so it's so tacky. It's such a bad photo.
But yeah, man. So that getting back to the vanity aging and kind of that whole what is the thing that keeps you from doing an extra step to not look your age? Like, what is it just financial that doesn't, because plastic surgery is expensive, all these toxins and all that stuff, I didn't really think about doing, like, injecting anything into me anyway. But they also do cost money. Even a gym membership costs money, and that's like I feel right now that's been my best money spent, because I, like, body wise, I feel as if I don't look like I'm an older person because of that. But I can't do nothing about what I guess the face, but I could.
The face. The face.
The face. Let me see your face. But yeah, does that stop you? Is it financial, or is it kind of you just don't want to go down that road that doesn't like hair plugs, or the hair transplant?
No, that's actually a great question, because like you just said, exercise seems to be a big thing that I am willing to do, because I'm to this point now where I'm trying to walk like an extra 18 miles a week if possible, which has weirdly helped me realize two new things. When I was younger, I never understood why people would ever find legs to be sexy. And now that I'm like walking that many miles, I'm starting to understand. I'm like, oh, you can be very proud about a well-defined leg. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't have like runner's legs or like athlete's legs, but my God, like sometimes I'll see my legs and I'm like, okay, I could totally get why somebody would find this attractive. And then feet too. Feet is a new thing too, where like as a younger in like my teens and 20s, I was like, how can people be attracted to feet? And I'm starting to understand it. It's the shape and the curves and the way that people take care of them. And I'm like, oh yes, I've met people now where I'm like, you've got some pretty feet. That's odd, but I get it now. But to answer your question,
to James Thornquist care.
Weirdly, I don't have a Feet Finder account. No, but to answer your question, like, what is my limitation? Like you said, for me, a lot of the time it's just financial, and then the fear, like you said, because Botox is botulism, which is a foodborne illness that people put into their faces and stuff to plump it up. And I even had my dentist one time tell me, they're like, hey, you grind your teeth and it's wearing out your jaw muscles. Mm-hmm. And we would suggest you get a sleep retainer, or sleep guard, so you're not grinding your teeth down. But if you like wake up with like sore jaws and get weird headaches from it, the other option is that you can start getting Botox injections into your jaw. And that helps like keep those muscles plump and more formed, so you stop doing it. And I was like, oh, cool. Yeah, I'm cool. I really don't want that in my jaw or anything. And I had a coworker in the past who had an eye thing, and that's what they did. Mm-hmm. They would go in and they would inject Botox. And he got a bad batch one time that swole his eye shut for like 2 months.
Oh, no, not a bad batch. Star Wars.
So no, I'm right there with it. Yeah. So it's for me, it's financial and also just fear of certain things. Like I have no issue with needles anymore, but I still don't like them. So no. What about you? What's say what hinders you from taking those steps to looking younger, more youthful, more vibrant?
It's a lot of it is financial, because again, like I said, like it's the same reason I always say I don't have tattoos. Like I don't know anyone that I trust enough to give me a cheap tattoo, except maybe now. I know one person anyway. And then like with plastic surgery, I would never pay for cheap plastic surgery. I would only if I was going to do something to enhance what I have or anything like that, I would want to make sure I'm doing it right with the best possible equipment or person doing it. And so I've never spent that much money to do that. And then also there's, I don't have any moral qualms to doing it correctly, but then there's also, plastic surgery fiends and addictions with it. It's kind of one of those things where do I want to like even go down that road to be a part of something like that? Like, I mean, I guess getting hair plugs there's probably not people who are getting addicted to hair plugs. Maybe there are people who like are, or is that's something that maybe is a part of the addiction? Like you start off, getting hair plugs because you just want to, do your hair, and then you see that and you're like, well, I could fix those bags under my eyes and, get that taken, get that slid off. And then, oh man, now that I got that, my jaw, let's go ahead, and you start just reshaping yourself to make yourself look like your ideal version of yourself and that
can go so sideways. That
it can
so creepy and weird looking.
we're there because there are, the look maxing guys and stuff like that. We're already at a point to where, people are hammering their face to do these crazy things to look a certain way. And I think there's a way to not really worry about that. You know what I mean? Like just for me, I guess personally, I don't need to get hair plugs or anything like that, because who am I getting hair plugs for besides myself? And why am I actually doing that?
Now, you bring up a good point, right? Your focus on your body, your physical appearance really should be for you. Now, that's something that I think the last year I've started to come to terms with, is like, most days I work from home. I don't see other people. Teams calls aren't always on video. So there's like, I've realized there's a lot of days that I don't not clean myself up, but there's days I don't really make myself super presentable. I stay very casual. And it's one of those things that I've realized, like, when I do now go out and put all my efforts into looking good, like, I can put forth a great effort. I find it questionable at times, though, too, because sometimes now I'll put on a shirt that I used to be this is my going out shirt, and it fits bad now, and you're like, oh no.
No, I like this.
Yeah, or you're like, man, these are the jeans that I wear when I'm looking to go meet somebody, and you put them on, and now it's like, oh, these don't fit as well. So it's weird that, like, yes, we do like to present ourselves to look better for the people we're with, but then when you find people who accept you for who you are, we kind of stop that. I think that's why when you see like comfortable, happy couples, they usually put on weight, they stop, like, I think it's when we're single that we're trying to impress other people. Or if, our jobs depend on, like, I understand actors doing it and then models doing it.
Right.
I don't understand basic business bros doing it, because it's like, yo, your job, like, yeah, maybe you're flying around the country and shaking hands and you want to look like you're put together, but really at the end of the day, the things that we do should be for our internal health and our own health, like how what we feel we need to do. If that means going out there and, getting hair plugs and stuff because you want to look more fucking, looks maxing, like you said, great. I guess do it. But I think that was one of those things that, like, with all the plastic surgery and advertising and things, we're in a time where you have body dysmorphia becoming a bigger issue. I mean, there are gorgeous people in this world who are like, oh, I hate my body. And it's like, what now? Huh?
Yeah. So there's also, we haven't even discussed the double standard when it comes to looking your age of men and women.
Yeah, that is true.
Because it's awful. It's awful the way that, like, even me as a guy who looks apparently anywhere from 27 to 48, anywhere on that scale, like, there's not a limit to where I'm not supposed to be able to look good. Like, even a 48-year-old like guy is supposed to be able to have this look, but then, there's a standard of beauty that, a woman can't look 48. That's dumb.
Yeah, I agree.
That's so dumb. If you're 48, you're supposed to try to look like you're 30. And that's dumb, because I know some beautiful women who look their age. Yeah. And best example, I think, in modern internet culture right now is that picture of Jamie Lee Curtis that floated around, I think, on the press tour of, might be one of the Knives Out movies or Halloween, something like that, where she's in like a gray dress. Yeah, she's in a gray dress, bosoms just kind of floating out there and whatnot, and she doesn't look like she's trying to look in her 30s. She looks like a beautiful older woman, and that right there is like, oh, and people are fawning over. They're like, yes, we love this, and the standard of beauty that we take. And then you have a guy like all the Silver Fox guys, you know what I mean? Harrison Ford has looked. Speaking of Star Wars, Harrison Ford has looked Like he's old, he's looked like he's 60 since the 90s, basically.
Yeah, no, you make a good point.
He's so sexy and all this stuff. Da, 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 da.
I would go to say somebody that's always been confusing is Tommy Lee Jones. I can't think of a young Tommy Lee Jones look. I don't know how old he was in Men in Black 1, but by Men in Black 3 and The Fugitive, it's like Tommy Lee is like, what did young Tommy Lee Jones look like? I don't know.
Have you ever seen he's in that movie with Steven Seagal where they're in a ship and something like that. I can't remember. Under Siege. He's in the first Under Siege movie. He's also in other movie kind of in the 80s, and he still looks old. He still looks like an old man and whatnot, but we don't keep but there's like this rugged handsomeness to him and stuff like that, right? But if you take that and extrapolate that to Kathy Bates.
Okay.
Who think about her in Misery.
Mm-hmm.
She is not an old woman there, but she looks like an older lady.
Yeah.
But she's not, there's not this like, oh, she's a, rugged, good looking, we don't extrapolate that to the females. She's homely.
Yes. Yeah. Well, and like you said, I think there's that odd double standard there where like, the idea is like men age gracefully. Like we become more handsome and more, what's the word I'm looking for? Like as we age, we have a tendency to start to look a lot better and less awkward. Mm-hmm. Whereas with, like we say, like we point out with women, it's like, oh, as women get older, they, guys will trade them in for a younger model. And it's like, well, I don't have anyone to trade in for a younger model, obviously, but at the same time, I've never been that kind of person. Like I've always enjoyed seeing the women in my life get older, and because like maybe it's just a self-conscious thing. Maybe that's what it is. It's like maybe that stigma exists because women were taught to think that way. I don't really know a woman, but like you said, magazine marketing for women has always been, keep your soft, supple skin, glow, shimmer, shine. Whereas for men, it's like rugged, be rugged. Like even male hair and face products are all about ruggedness. Our deodorants are called Timber, Stone, Sand.
The bottles always look like wood.
Yeah. Like Old Spice has a line of products that are like Fiji, and it's like gators and birds and hawks and wolves and. Yeah, like what was the Dr. Squatch stuff was all about like being a lumberjack, whereas women's stuff is cotton, vanilla, honeycomb, lavender. It's all soft stuff. So it's one of those odd things where we age, like men aged this idea of you're supposed to look more rugged. But then I think back to like my grandfather and stuff. They weren't using any of that kind of stuff, they were
bar soap.
Yeah, bar soap, saggy skin, sunken eyes, losing hair. I don't know. But
we have this we've given ourselves body dysmorphia through media. Everybody, and I think everyone has a little bit of it to a degree. But it's probably like a sliding scale of how you look at yourself and think that you should look better. I know that my conversation with that checker almost gave me a little body dysmorphia. I was like, holy crap, what about me? Like I kind of went in the mirror and started looking at myself and was like a lot older and
something to work on.
Yeah. And it brought me to the point of wanting to bring it to here to the Zaboys and Ep.4. And I think we've talked a lot of good ideas around like why these things happen.
Yeah.
Now I kind of want to talk about how we could help people, maybe not. Yeah, because again, we are not professional counselors or like dietitians or anything like that, or this is just coming from a couple of dudes going through the same thing that a lot of our people out there, probably listening to this are going through. And so what are some things that kind of help you feel better about the way that you look even if you feel that you look older?
Man, okay, so things that help me specifically is like a little bit of exercise goes a long way. Drinking plenty of water really helps go a long way, because if I feel good on the inside, I have a tendency to feel better on the outside. Stretching. I will say stretching helps me feel more elongated and looser, and all of a sudden, like, I'll look at myself in the mirror and be like, yeah, you're looking good, which we'll say is exercise.
Yeah.
And then just some smaller things too, I guess, or well, okay, sleep. Sleep's one of those things. I feel like I always look much better in the morning than I do by 5 p.m.
Right.
I'll wake up, catch my reflection in the mirror, and be like, oh man, look at you. You're looking pretty good. A little toned. You got a little pudge here that you need to work on. But then by like 5 o'clock, I'm like, oh man, what happened? Yeah, I'm like, you're walking around hunched over. You're like, ugh. So those are 3 things I'd say definitely is, sleep, hydration, a little bit of exercise, definitely make you feel better about your external appearance and your internal feelings. What about you? What are some things that you would say?
I think sleep is number 1.
Yeah.
I think sleep is huge because your body feels better when you sleep. Your mind feels better when you sleep. And when that's connected, you definitely, like, some of those things that bother you about yourself don't bother you. And when you're feeling good, and I think it's kind of sometimes reversed. They looking good, feeling good. I think sometimes it's feeling good, I'm looking good.
Yeah. A lot of it's mental.
And if you're not there mentally, and it's hard to look at yourself, even if you're dressed to the nines, if you're not feeling right and think you look great.
Yeah. You made me think of one too while you were saying that. I think the less alcohol I've been consuming, the better I've felt and looked also. Yeah. Because that'll give you a lot of false confidence. The alcohol will, with how you look. Because if let's say your connectivity with looking good is drinking. Yeah. When you're sober and you look at yourself, you're not gonna feel the same way about yourself, because you're not giving yourself those feelings of like, yeah, I'm awesome. You know what I mean? You're kind of, and whenever you see yourself sober, you're like, I'm not there. Like I need a drink to get myself up there, and then you start that cycle, right? So yeah, that definitely is a big part of it. And plus, what alcohol does to your skin and body. Yes, yeah. I was about to say for actual like outward stuff you can do, a little lotion goes a long way.
Oh yeah, face lotion, real lotion, like hand lotion. So I've noticed a thing that's helped me is keeping like facial wipes in my car, because during the day I just get sweaty. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I'm in my car driving around, stuff like that, get sweaty. Give yourself a little bit of a wipe every now and then. You know what I mean? You keep the dirt off your face longer. You know what I mean? So you're not just giving a full wash at the end of the night, and letting stuff really cake into your pores and things like that. Minor upkeep. If you're serious about it, but you're not serious about it, because I think, what is it? You're supposed to spend like 20 or more minutes a day on like your beauty regimen to really be considered serious about it. I think I heard that from a podcast or something like that. So like, if you're not going to spend 20 minutes a day on it, but you want to like make sure that you're keeping your upkeep, keep your face washed, keep your face wiped. Yeah. Like use chapstick, use the lotions, use those little things, and like keep shaved. Yeah, because the hair and all that stuff, the oils and that messes around with that. Keep yourself shaved. All that, those little minor upkeep stuff will definitely be, I gotta get up there today when I get inside. Actually, this is getting kind of cleaned up. Yeah, those things definitely make me feel better. Every time I give myself a shave after a few days of it kind of growing in, and I don't have a full beard, so I get the kind of patchy thing, and that's where I feel like I'm looking my worst is that I'm like, okay, let me clean that up. I think there's a lot of minor things you can do to help yourself. Just take a little time to pamper yourself every now and then, whether it's
Because like I think y'all I think even on Instagram back in the day I used to have a video of me doing a nasal strip to clean my nose, my nasal pores. Because as you all know, like I have a pretty wildly, it's not huge nose, but it's interesting. It's not small, and it's not something that I would ever change. I've come to accept it, but at the same time, I've done some of the face mask things just to be like, well, this is actually work. A retinol cream weirdly can help. I don't use it constantly, but it's one of those things that every so often, like I'll do a heavy face scrub down and then I'll throw a little retinol cream on and you'll feel it like kind of tightening the skin a little bit. And you're like, oh, okay. I don't think it's one of those things that makes me look phenomenal like by the next day or anything, but it does make me feel a little bit better. So pamper yourself in a small, affordable ways if you can.
And maybe one last thing, and I just thought of this right now because we were kind of talking a little bit about finding someone who finds you attractive, or not finds you attractive, but like that treats you like they don't really care, like whether or not you need all these other extra things to look good. Just kind of keep this in the back of your head, because I think this always kind of gets lost when it comes to the way people look at you, like strangers do. Most people aren't looking at you in that type of way anyway, where they're trying to judge you in that way. They're just like going about their day. And also that there is probably someone you don't even realize that's looking at you and going, like that's what I like. You know what I mean? You may never ever come across them, you may never meet them, but someone out there when you walk by them is just checked you out and been like, you're somebody's flavor. Everyone out there listening to us right now, you're somebody's flavor. Like there's somebody out there who will like you for you, because that's just how we are as humans. We're attracted to so many different types of things, and there isn't one standard of beauty. There isn't one standard of attractiveness, and there isn't one standard of, hey, I look 10 years older than I am as a 38-year-old. There's a standard when it comes to younger, but when it comes to like when you're in your 30s, you know what I mean? If you look 40, own it. Yeah. Just own the fact you look 40, because there's some good looking 40-year-olds out there.
I will say, actually, there's one last thing I just thought of when you said that. Yeah. Sometimes it's finding clothes that make you feel good. That's a really big thing I've had to learn. Yeah. Like, like there's fashion standards that tell you like this is how your clothes should fit. If that isn't what you're comfortable wearing, go find something that you are comfortable wearing that makes you feel good, because that can do wonders for how you are pulling off that appearance. Like if you're not a cardigan person, don't put on a cardigan. Don't think that's going to be, just because Ryan Gosling can make khaki pants with a cuff on them and a white t-shirt look phenomenal, doesn't mean you can. That's not your style. Go find your style.
Pearl snaps ain't for everybody. All right, guys, this has been an amazing episode of Zaboys to Men. This is kind of what it's about. It's about us kind of going through what's changed in our lives and speaking on it in as real of a way and hopefully as humorous of a way as you've enjoyed it out there in Acast land, Spotify, Apple podcast. That's where you found us here, or you Googled Zaboys Media, because if you put that in the Google machine, you can find a lot of our stuff, all of our stuff. And do you have anything to plug real quick? Do you have anything to plug? What do you, so this is kind of what I wanted to maybe not what are you plugging, because we all don't have, I do some stuff and you do some stuff, but we probably always don't have activities that we need to plug. But what have you been doing lately that you can kind of, in a short little thing that you would suggest other people may do?
Ooh, something that I've been doing lately. I've been reading what is it called? Dungeon Crawler Carl. It's a book series. And it's growing in popularity very quickly. But if you're not a big reader, go read Dungeon Crawler Carl. I think, because I'm not a huge prolific reader. I don't crack a book every month. So it's a very easy read. It's a very fun read. It might be right up your alley. Chris, what do you got? What are you plugging?
I have been playing a phone game, actually. I've been trying to get more into gaming. I listen to a gaming podcast called Thumb Cramps. We'll tag them, see if we can't, hey, Thumb Cramps. Anyway, but I've been trying to get more into handheld gaming.
Handheld gaming
and because I want to get my girlfriend's daughter a Switch.
Okay.
And so I want to learn more about handheld gaming, and she plays games on the phone. So I'm playing a game called Oddmar on Apple Arcade, which if you're trying to be a casual phone gamer, I suggest getting the Apple Arcade. It's like $9.99 a month. Not bad. You get a whole bunch of games you can just completely download. Before I know in-game purchases for most of those games too, which is awesome. There's free games, and yeah, it's a little side scroller. It's in the vein of like kind of Mario, but you're this cute little Viking guy, and it's physics based when it comes to some of the puzzles. You have to kind of get up things and push things around, and you got a little axe. It's really cute when the guy jumps, mushrooms come out, and you kind of like bounce off the mushrooms, and it's a fun little game. Art style is awesome. This is the kind of game where you look at it and you go, "Aw," like the entire time, because everything, even the sheep are really, really cute. Like it's a great game, fun time. You can pick it up for a couple of minutes or an hour. I played last night for maybe 30-45 minutes before I went to bed. Yeah, because like it was just one of those things. And okay, the controls a little frustrating because it is on the phone, so you're sliding a little bit too far and you can't see what you're doing. But once you really get a hold of where the controls are and how far you can go, it's really pretty easy and pretty intuitive to the phone. So yeah, it's really fun. I suggest it if you're looking for something to game, and I also suggest the Apple Arcade if you just want to get into casual gaming. And sometimes there's some long format games on there. You can play a Final Fantasy on the Apple Arcade.
Nice. Yeah. Not a sponsor though. That's why it's at the end of this and we're just plugging it. If it was a sponsor,
we're just plugging it
up front
or in the middle, which we'll have to find out where we're going to put something in the middle there. We'll cut that, but we'll figure it out. We'll figure out another topic here for Zaboys to Men next time, and have some more fun. Leo might be with us. Will might be with us. You might hear some other voices here on Zaboys to Men, and if you out there want to join and hang out in the Zaboys to Men platform and talk about what it is to be older, you can hit us up at zaboysmedia@gmail.com. Email us and we'll talk. We'll chit chat. But if you got nothing else there, Thorny, I would like to say Monowia. And you have another outro for this that we do. I think you said something.
Monowia, stay gold and find your safe space. Thank you for listening to Zaboys to Men, a Zaboys Media podcast. If you're going through hard times or struggling with mental or physical stress, please seek out professional help because we are not trained professionals. If you like what you're hearing and want to find more, you can check us out at youtube.com under Zaboys Media Network or on Spotify by searching Zaboys or The Locals Connection. Thank you again for listening, and until next time, find your safe space and stay gold, Pony Boy.